It's like 19 degrees out, snowing and blowing like crazy. So I had the tractor in here because the front chain had twisted off. So everything's, I'm sure, wearing in. These were new front tires probably last year when we had the chains on the tires were new. So the tires are wearing in a little bit. So the chain was actually loose. So I got that. I took a link or so out of there. Got that better. So the chain shouldn't, it twisted off. And I had to take it off, drive it back, and so now it's in here. But so we're gonna get this thing greased up. We need to move a firewood tote first. This John Deere tractor's got 1,700 hours on it, I think. Let me turn the key on. Where's the? Yeah, 1,729.2 hours. And to be honest, it's been the best tractor that we've had. We've done nothing to it. The front tires dry rotted, so we replaced them before we had a problem. It's only a 2017, so it's not really that old. Why the tires are dry rotting, I don't know, but they were getting some major cracks, so we put new ones of them on because the front tires are, I don't know, 100, 120 bucks a piece, so they're not that expensive. The rear tires, you can see they're getting that same type of dry rot crack, but it's not near as bad as the front tires. And, you know, we lift whatever it'll lift all the time. So this is the only thing this tractor has done is that spot of oil. This thing's been sitting in here, I don't know, 3-4 days. Haven't needed it, so we didn't take it back out. But the front drive shaft actually goes up underneath. It's in that, I should have grabbed a light. Hold on, let me put it on pause. Let me go get a light. Okay, so that's the front drive shaft right there. And the oil, maybe it's not. We always thought it was coming right out of that front drive shaft there. Honestly, don't know where the oil's coming from right now, but that's dry. I gotta get under there and look at that better. I was just going to show you that the front drive shaft's been leaking for a little bit, and it doesn't look like it is. And what our plan was just to, because the hydraulic oil, transmission, rear end oil, everything's all the same in this thing. So the next time it needed a hydraulic oil change, because this is a hydrostat tractor, we were just going to drain it out, take this front drive shaft apart, and fix the seal. But the oil is on the bottom of that housing. It's on the bottom of that bolt. The housing can't be leaking, can it? I'm gonna go get a wrench or a socket, and I'm gonna see if that bolt happens to be loose at all, where that housing could be leaking a hair. Because it honestly, that's what it looks like to me, is it would be the two halves are leaking. All right, let me pause it again and get a wrench. All right, so I already put the flashlight away. I got that all cleaned out, cleaned it up with brake clean. Don't actually see where the leak is actually coming from right now. So it's all clean. Gonna take it out and run it. And I'm sure that'll all get covered with snow because I'm gonna plow a little bit of snow with it. And we gotta move some firewood totes. And then we'll bring it back in. Instead of putting it away, we'll bring it back in, let it thaw out again for a day or two, see how much it's leaking, and hopefully then, now all that, I mean, there wasn't a lot of gunk, but that's what was up inside there. So now we'll be able to actually see where the oil's actually coming from, and maybe then the master mechanic can fix it.
I wouldn't point that at me.
Maybe not. Maybe we won't let him touch it, but it might be better off just leaking, keep filling it. But
if it leaks and then you don't have to do an oil change. It's a self-oil change.
Yeah, it's a self-oil change. But not the hydro. It holds a lot. And it's really not leaking much, so.
No, it's,
but
I think 5.5 gallons. With the hydro holes when you do an oil change, I believe.
Right. And we've never even added any to it.
No,
And it's been leaking for at least a year, if not over a year. We've seen,
It's gotten worse.
yeah, it has actually gotten
When
worse.
it started off, it was just a little spot, and we're like, But now, I mean, it's only been in here for what, 3 days?
3 days, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, now
But that's on concrete too, so it does spread out.
Sure.
But in gravel, you don't see it, so I don't know. But let me get my gloves on. I've already got my coveralls on. I don't know if I can, because the wind is cold, so. And we'll go move a firewood tote, haul some snow, and see what else we get into. Every day is something different, because I really didn't expect to take a half an hour and dig at that and look at that today, but guess we did it. Yeah, because we were monkeying with it. It's not in four-wheel drive anymore. I'm going to take that tote right there, but we'll see if I can get it out of there without moving my four-wheeler. This stuff never hardly gets any weather. I parked my four-wheeler in there and figured it's out of the weather, but man, the snow blew in like crazy. Doing this stuff one-handed is fun. Normally we use the skid steer to move these, but it's cold. We didn't plug the skid steer in yet, so we're just going to use the tractor this time. And the smaller totes like this one that aren't, this one's kind of stacked, but the smaller totes, the tractor does okay once they're dried out. Green lumber, you don't move them at all, but once they dry up, they're light enough that we get by moving them with this once in a while. Yeah, see, like right now, it won't actually lift it. Let's rev it up here a little bit. There we go. It's up high enough to get it to the house. Almost season for sugar time. We're getting closer. There is some guys in our area that last warm-up that we had between Christmas and New Year's, they tapped and they're already boiling. But it's too early for us. The wind is just a whipping. Hopefully you can hear something besides the wind in the camera. So right there. So there's one firewood tote there, and inside of that box there. So we take the wood from there, and it goes in there, and then from inside the house, right there's that's the chimney. Inside that room is our wood-fired cook stove. So this firewood goes into the cook stove that we use. So we have 4 spots that we use these totes. One here, we're going over to the other side of the house that I made. You know, we moved this garage, and so this is going around to the other side. And in the shop where the tractor just was, there was a tote of firewood in there. And then in my mother-in-law's house that we drove by, there's, I think we put 17 of these totes in that basement. So that's, we use these totes a lot. And we have like 99 of them, I think we said, so. And I just got a zip tie on that, just to hold that so the wind doesn't blow it back closed while we're working right here. The snow actually blew in here. The snow was blowing so hard this time. The skid steer actually works better. You have a little more control with the skid steer compared to the tractor. And I just want to push it forward one more time. Make sure that the door will close. I didn't want to build that area too big, have a waste of space, but yet I might have made it a little tight, but it's working. But that's my favorite part right there, is we moved basically a face cord of firewood and really haven't touched it yet. So it'll be ready to go from there right into the wood stove. I'll knock the snow off as we go, but it is what it is. Done. Ready for at least another week.